What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training. Today we're going to be breaking down how bigger and slower wide receivers can be successful. So we're going to be talking about some of the things that's going to help your guys' hands improve when you're catching over the middle, maybe when you don't have as much separation on a ball that's thrown over the shoulder, and how you guys can win in goal line and red zone situations, because that's where we make our money as a bigger guy who's maybe not the fastest. So I hope this video helps you guys out. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to come get some work in with us this offseason, I myself and my staff of coaches are traveling out to 5 different states across the country for 2-day long quarterback and wide receiver training camp. So this weekend, we're going to be in Chicago, Illinois. Then we're going to resume the camp tour in Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Los Angeles, California. So they're 2-day camps, fellas. It's 4 hours each day. It is a ton of reps, a ton of work, and it's only 10 to 12 guys per position group. It's not one of those big showcase combine style camps where it's just run kids through drills. So I hope you guys could check this out if you're interested. Very first link below. Let's get started with this video. So sometimes as a bigger guy, right? So this is Cooper Kupp in college, and he's not a small guy. He's about 6'2", right? A lot of people don't actually know that, and he's maybe not the fastest guy in the world. He's definitely not a Tyreek Hill type receiver. I think he ran like maybe a 4.6 at the combine, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not a big 40-time guy, but again, and he's fast for maybe like high school, but when you get up to that college level, that NFL level that he's playing at now, he would be considered on the slower side of things, right? And that's like no different than a high school wide receiver who runs like a 4.8, 4.9 40. You're probably a little bit on the slower side of things for a high school skill position guy, right? So you're going to be put in a lot of situations where you're going to have to catch in traffic. And I'm assuming that, you watch stuff like this because you want to improve your skills and you want to play at the next level. And what you can showcase to coaches, if maybe you're not that combine guy who will come out in a t-shirt, shorts, absolutely rip the pro shuttle, the 40-yard dash, is your film. And on your film, you need to showcase these kinds of things. So you see how Cooper Kupp, he does this route, but he's running this thing in traffic. He's catching in traffic. He's got 3 defenders around him. He's got a defender over the top, defender on his back hip, and a defender coming over the middle. So the mechanics behind this type of catch, how you can get better on these types of things, is by being late with your hands and trusting your eyes. Now, again, you got to make these plays on film. You have to showcase that you're reliable over the middle. You're a great possession receiver. And I'm not saying Kupp's a possession receiver. I'm just saying if you're on the slower side of things, you better be a sure thing with your hands. So when you got guys around you and you might take a shot over the middle, they might make a play on it, you want to be late with your hands. You see how Kupp catches this thing with his body. Now, this is one of those cliche things that a lot of, receiver coaches, and I myself have said in the past, that, you never want to catch with your body. That thing's going to bounce off of your chest. You're not going to be able to catch it. But you see so many wide receivers do this, and that is because it is a surefire way to have the ball tucked as soon as it hits your hands. When you're coming over the middle, especially when you got a guy over the top, a guy maybe crashing down on you, you don't want to stick your hands way out and extend to this ball, because if it hits your hands, let's say you do catch it, that DB is going to be able to make a play. So you want to be late with your hands. I'm not saying you have to catch it with your body. I'm not saying that this is correct the way to do it either. But you see so many guys do it this way, and that's why. When you're over the middle and you have to make that catch, you have to make sure that as soon as we put my hands on it, it is going right to the tuck. And if you catch it with the body like that, and you kind of holster that thing, it's an easy way to do that. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm just saying that you want to be late over the middle, especially catching in traffic, because as a bigger, slower guy, you're going to be put in those situations. You're going to be that guy that they rely on over the middle, especially if you're bigger, and you have to be consistent. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Then we're going to take a look at another Cooper Kupp clip where he doesn't have that much separation on a fade route and how you guys can win on that. So now, if you're on the slower side of things, this is a situation that you will be in a lot of it, right? Because if you're on the outside, you're a bigger guy, not the fastest. We still might try to throw you a go ball just because you're a bigger target out there. And maybe you run a good route. Maybe you got this DB right on your back hip, or maybe you do a good release. You get some separation, but he's got great recovery speed simply just because he's faster than you. We still have to finish the play. The quarterback's job is to put the ball in an accurate spot. We don't ever, as a quarterback, from a quarterback perspective, I never want to have to throw a 50-50 ball when we're in like the middle of the field and I'm throwing a deep fade. I want to put it over the shoulder every time. I want to judge your speed correctly. I want to put it in a good spot to where you can make this over-the-shoulder catch. But if I'm in tight, a lot of wide receivers struggle with this because this DB might throw his hands up, try to screw up with our vision. I know that's a PI call, but sometimes they can do that. He might be grabbing at my arm. But more importantly, he's going to play your hands as soon as he expects that ball there. So when that ball's thrown over the top, Cooper Kupp shows a great example of having late hands again. So when it's an over-the-shoulder catch, you want to have late hands, and I'll explain why. So just like we're in traffic, like let's say he's running like a bender right here, and this ball's on a line. He would want to be late with his hands so that DB doesn't have a chance to rip the ball out. But when a DB's hip to hip like this, if you don't show your hands early, because a lot of wide receivers, what they would do in this case, that ball's right there about to come down, they will raise their hands up and go try to catch it over the shoulder, almost like it's a high point ball. We don't need to do that, fellas. As soon as you show your hands like that, what's the DB going to do? He's going to try to make a play. He sees your hands go up, he's going to play your hands. But if you are late with the hands, that does not give him enough time to react. He has no idea where the ball is. But the key is you have to track it with your eyes all the way down to your hands, right? So Kupp may have gotten a little bit lucky here because his eyes are forward and that ball's hitting his hands, but he does track it till right before. His eyes follow that thing until it about hits the hands. But if you guys can focus on being late and the eyes follow that ball till it hits your hands, that is 100% how you guys will be more consistent. We get a lot of questions on over-the-shoulder catches. How do I be more consistent with it? And that is how. So if you're on the slower side of things, maybe you're a bigger wide receiver who's a threat downfield, those over-the-shoulder catches, if you don't have that much separation, you better be late with your hands. If he's trailing on your hip, he's not just going to run past you. He's going to try to recover, try to get on your inside hip. But if that QB puts a good ball on you, you got to make sure we finish. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time, then we'll talk about some route running stuff that slower and bigger wide receivers can do. Great job by Cooper Kupp finishing on the play. Maybe not having a ton of separation, but still winning on this route. So this is going to be a goal line back shoulder fade. So one of the things, if you're not the fastest wide receiver in the world, you have to rely on your IQ quite a bit, right? So a lot of people, what they don't realize is that, like, in high school, and some guys even in college, lower levels of college, what they will do is they will solely rely on their speed and solely rely on their size, right? When you get to that next level, you have so many guys who are super talented. They're super physical. You know, they're disciplined, especially at the DB position, right? They're all fast. They're all big. They've all been well coached. So we have to understand that I need to bring more to the table than just my size, because what a lot of guys will do at the lower levels of football, they'll have an inside shade look like this. They have to run a goal line fade. What they'll do is they'll just take off and go run. So they'll just have the inside shade guy. I got him. He's inside shade. I got to go run a fade. They'll just take off and maybe beat him with speed, or because they're such a big wide receiver, they'll take off and then it's an easy jump ball opportunity. But you got to bring something to the table IQ-wise when you're trying to play at the next level, because that DB is going to be disciplined. If you just take off and run, he's going to be big and he's going to be strong just like us, because everybody who plays in college was the biggest, strongest, fastest, best player on their high school team at a certain level. So you take off and you go run, he's going to get hands right into your hip pocket, right into your shoulder, squeeze you to that sideline, and he will be able to make play on that ball because his technique shows that. So you got to bring some to the table. So this wide receiver does exactly that. He squares him up. He attacks the leverage of the DB because he knows coming up to the line pre-snap, DB's inside shade, so he's trying to protect the inside. So his thought process is, if I attack him, I'm not going to pretend like I know his thought process because I don't know exactly what he's thinking, but the way I would think about something like this, the way I would teach something about this, is you want to attack his leverage and threaten him where he doesn't want to go, because he doesn't want you to go inside. So if I threaten him inside, he's going to do whatever it takes to protect the inside. Maybe he takes a step, maybe he full-blown jumps, but that will create more space for me to the outside. And when I have more space, that QB has a wider range to throw it. He could either put it to the back corner, maybe he gives me a 50-50 ball, maybe he puts it back shoulder, but I didn't just run off and this DB's not right on my hip. I used my stem, I used the football IQ that I had to work him off the platform and create some more space for me. That is a textbook route, and that is a textbook way to run that goal line fade. Fellas, if you're on the bigger side of things, slower side of things, you got to be a threat in the red zone. You have to have some things in that toolbox to be successful. We can't just run routes. If you want to play at that next level, you can't just do it. If you're going up against, a weak high school DB who's maybe not that good, he's maybe slow, just slow as you, he's smaller than you, get away with it. But I don't want you to just get away with it. I want you to be able to showcase these things on film, showcase these things at camps. So when people see that, they know that you know what you're doing and you're more likely to play and get recruited. So let's play this thing again, full speed. Great demonstration of having a high football IQ, knowing how to attack leverage off the line, and winning on that goal line fade, holding that DB to the inside. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. I really appreciate the feedback from you guys. You guys help keep the channel rolling, so we definitely appreciate it. And again, fellas, if you want to come get some work in with us, we're traveling out to 5 different states this offseason: Chicago, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Los Angeles, California. So check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.